Hi guys, Mr. Cairns here. Today we're going to be learning a little bit about iterations. If we have a look at the question up here on the whiteboard, we've got 1a and 1b. Question 1a, show that x squared subtract 4x subtract 9 equals 0 can be written in the form of x equals the square root of 9 plus 4x. Whenever you get an iteration question, you're normally going to have the first part is going to be some sort of rearranging to make one of the x's a subject. And I think this is fine too. We've had a lot of practice of doing all of this, so let's just go through it now and do it step by step. Well, looking at it here, I'm going to add 9 to both sides first. So we can put the 9 to the right hand side of the equation. So that'll be x squared subtract 4x equals 9. Now we can add 4x to both sides. We'll be left with then x squared equals 9 plus 4x. And then the last thing we need to do is just square root to both sides here. So then we're going to get x equals square root of 9 plus 4x. And that's all we need to show. These 3 lines there is going to give us the full marks of question 1a, as obviously that's what we've got here. But then the next bit, this is when we're going to be using iteration. Use the iteration formula here of xn plus 1 equals the square root of 9 plus 4xn. To find x3, the 2 decimal places. Start with x0 equals 2. This can sound really quite confusing if you don't really understand iteration yet, but I'm going to explain to you now of what we're going to be doing for each bit. It will always give you whatever x0 should be. Here it's telling us that x0 is going to be 2. So what we're going to do now, we're going to substitute x0 into this equation. If we're starting off with x0, we're then going to be, if we sub in x0 into this formula, this is going to give us the answer to x1, because it's n plus 1. In this situation, n is going to be 0, so 0 add 1, it's going to give us x1. So if we start off then writing it here, x1 equals, so obviously 0 add 1 is 1, square root of 9 plus, let's do 4 times whatever xn is, 2. So x1 is going to be 9 plus 8 square root of 17, which is going to be, you're definitely going to want to use a calculator. I mean, fair play if you can do it in your head. I know, I'm going to be honest, I certainly can't. Okay, so we're getting 4.123 and a lot of other decimals as well, which I'm not going to write down, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the answer button on my calculator each time when I do the next steps. We've now found x1 to be 4.123, so on and so forth. I now want to find x2, because we're trying to get all the way to x3. So for x2, remembering our formula, if we then put in x1 into this formula, it's n plus 1, so 1 plus 1 will be 2. So we're now finding x2. So x2 equals the square root of 9 plus 4 times, what I'm going to write answer. Because that was the answer we've got there, and that's what I'm going to be putting into my calculator each time. So what I can now do on my calculator, square root of 9 plus, open brackets, 4 times shift answer, close brackets, that's given me 5.049, zeros and so on and so forth. But we're trying to get to x3, so I'm going to keep that there, go to x3 now, square root of 9 plus 4 times answer, and this will give me, once I do it, 9 plus here we go, and it says to 2 decimal places as well, so I have 5.403, so 5.40. It's going to be my answer then for 1b. And this is going to be the same process we're going to be doing every single time when we normally get an iteration question. So just follow this here. You can notice it's a sequence each time, but basically each number that we're getting, we're multiplying it by 4 and adding 9 to it. That's the sequence, and that's just how we're finding iteration. It's just a really fancy way of doing trial and error. And I think once you've got your head around it and you can just understand this bit here, it's really not too bad at all. Obviously, if you've got any questions, then please let me know and I'll be happy to help. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.